Hey guys, welcome to Big Blind, betting in startup ecosystem. And today I have Chetan, a golf entrepreneur. I know that sounds different, but let's explore from his view. Hey Chetan, how are you?
Doing well, thank you so much.
I totally love your profile. To be honest, I love to play golf. But want to understand a bit more about your background, your journey. What have you been till date? What were you doing and what are you planning on going ahead?
I think a lot of people assume that I've taken up golf since a childhood. Let me tell you my story. I'm actually from North Karnataka, Hubli. I never wanted to play golf, and that's the hard truth. And I hated the sport. When I was a kid in Hubli, there was a golf course. Having looked at people walking around the course and not getting access to get into the gate of the golf course always made me feel, this is not the way to go forward. And I didn't want to play golf. I just wanted to go walk. So that memory was always there. But life has its own plan. 2015, in Zion Hills, a friend of mine, Amit Punjabi, was so keen to curate a golfing experience for all the business owners. We were part of a group. And for the first time I went there, the coach was there. He just said, please hit some balls. I was the only one probably there amongst a group of about 10, 12 who could connect the ball, and the ball was flying, and I enjoyed that experience. And I believe from then to now, there's no looking back. And I must thank Amit for his belief that he pursued and said, you have to play this game. And I always felt it's too much of money, it's too expensive. I never wanted to play the sport. So from that journey of not wanting to play golf to a friend of mine introducing and supporting, golf is a very expensive sport. It takes a lot of time, money, and a mental space. You got to have a lot to invest. So it was very important that he was pursuing, joining me, making sure that he, gave the rental set and stuff. So that truly, I believe, the credit goes to him. And from there, today I love to play golf, and anybody who knows me knows how focused a golfer I am, and I've only tried to get better. So that's my story, and I love the line of the big bet, right? I
Big
think
blind.
the big blind. So I think the betting seems to be pretty quick on what you said. The big blind. When I think of the name, it was like too dark a side when I wanted to even play golf. I'm like, who plays golf? I mean, it's so difficult sometimes what people say, and it's not for me. And from there to now, I think it's a great journey.
I mean, even I explored a couple of times. One of my friend, I wouldn't call a friend, investor,
Mm-hmm.
has brought me in to have a conversation, and we were playing golf
Hmm.
and having the conversation, and he was not even focusing on what I was building on or what I was having or as a talk or anything. He was trying to understand my mental presence
Right.
because after I failed a couple of times and when he taught me how to do it, that is where he was like, this helps you to set your mind in a pace.
True.
Things will be in your control.
Hmm.
People do play that, people have this hype that you have money, you play golf, but no, it's basically you have a lot of things in your mind and you're playing golf to arrange it in a way so that you can deal with it.
True.
That's really something which I've learned. Until then, I was pretty harsh in my life. I was like, screw it. I need a horse riding. I want to go for boxing and stuff. But now I understand, why people do prefer that.
Yeah, but I would love to share it to people that be careful. If you start playing golf, you would start realizing that you would be more calmer person. Your personalities will start coming out on the golf course, or probably you will change as a person. But that caution I often give to people because I was very aggressive in my life, wanting to do too many things, wanting to make the most out of everything possible. But now I've realized that it's all about in your mind, right? How you want to perceive things and go after things. So one piece of line for all of them is be careful because golf will change the way you think, will change the way you look at opportunities because you'll start getting focused. You, like you rightly said, you start organizing yourself better and think about it because you're making a lot of decisions on the golf course. And they often say a lot of business happens on the golf course is only because you're able to spend 4.5 hours with one particular friend, let's say even a stranger. You will know everything about him or her in that particular 4.5 hours, the way they behave on a shot, when a good shot, a bad shot. And that you don't generally get in any other sport. So that's something that is a great thing for golf.
I think anyone who would be watching this video would, or let's say any potential future partner, or they would definitely be that, okay, this guy is pretty clear on what he wants to do in life,
Yeah.
and that's what important is, what I feel. But uh, I understand the way you have dealt multiple scenarios, but what is your plan ahead? What do you want to, or how do you want to channel this into impacting others people?
I think I have always realized in life, whatever plans we make, beyond that, there's a life which is planning a plan for me. So I want to leave it to that. But my plan for sure is what Amit did to me of giving the sport, a beautiful sport like this. I want to give it to more and more people. So in one line, I would say I want to be Amit in lives of people. To make sure that you don't necessarily play so much, but learn about the lessons that golf has to teach. Because I have realized that not everyone can play the sport. It's very expensive. It consumes a lot of time as well, dedication and stuff. While I'm saying you don't need to play and probably learn, you can always learn from certain experiences and stuff. And I want to bring it to the world through golf and beyond. And more importantly, the next plan for me is to simplify this whole journey, because I think life is already complex to a lot of people. It's too much clutter in today's world, and nobody knows what to do next, how to go about things. So I believe through golf, I want to impact more and more lives through simplifying the game, through simplifying life and business, and that's something I'm working on currently.
So you wanna either teach people in terms of what it benefits
Yeah.
and how to do it. At the same time, I believe that there are multiple opportunities opening up, because the community what you build is a lot more in the sport journey and also the professional journey.
Right.
So in a overall aspect, what are the multiple umbrellas or multiple baskets you are seeing on this?
I foresee, in one sense, I would say, I want to build a community which thinks alike, because I believe I'm a guy who still wants to meet people. I believe we as humans want connections, true connections, connections which mean respect, means quality of conversation, and means also growth, right? What everybody is aspiring is any form of growth in terms of learning or opportunities and stuff. So golf is very much the platform that has given me where I'm today is all because of golf and Amit. So this is the same thing I want to give it to the world through the platform, through community. So in terms of the basket, that specifically, if I would say, is one is to bring people together, with golf being the medium, right? And today, what drives people I've seen is the lifestyle, what we wear, what we like drive, where we want to travel. I think I've always been a travel enthusiast, and I have a travel company, and I've realized that's the kick of life, where you travel the world, meet people, and get to learn something valuable of your own personality. The three baskets I would say is community. Second one is learning. Education is very close to my heart, because that's something makes you become better and better. And third important thing is the experiences. What I mean by that is your experiences could be different than mine, but key is to make sure that it's very personalized. So these are the three things that I would be focusing on in next coming years. Yeah.
So, to our viewers who are watching this exciting video, what is the one thing you would say to the audience to take a bet on?
I would say is conviction. Close your eyes. There's always one particular voice that comes in front of you and says, "Do this." Now, there might be scenarios where most people always have a situation where they're confused, and that's normally there, because our brain is tuned to sort of confuse you, and that's a very natural behavior of your memories telling you, "Don't do it, do it." So take the tough path and think long term. So my one advice to the audience watching is take the hard path, think long term, and focus on three important things, which I always believe has been my philosophy: quality, efficiency, and purpose. If you can get these three in any form, go after that.
And what do what do you prefer as a betting piece in you for the audience? Because obviously, when you wanna create the community, what do you expect them to see and take a bet in you?
I think the key bet when people bet on me is the ethics, trust, and more importantly, the person you are, where you come from, right? If you can be honest and be very authentic yourself, and that's very important. Don't change in the process of money or anything. The authenticity is very important. So, if at all, one thing that I would say people need to keep in mind is be yourself, right? And don't change for situations and stuff, and build trust, because trust is a very core element, I feel. While there will be challenges when you're growing, there will always be resistance, there will always be people talking a lot about you behind, but that's good for you. And that's one thing I've learned is hold your ground, be authentic yourself, make sure that people trust you. So that means you need to be genuine. So that's something, a piece of advice I would give for all.
Most of the people who come, or the founders who come, or interesting minds who come for the podcast, they're building some product or any service. But with you, what I personally feel is you're creating value.
True.
Now, this value can be utilized based on the capacity of the person who is willing to take this value.
True.
Now, in this value creation as a journey, what were your stepping stones in terms of, have you helped anyone like how Amit has done for you?
Right.
Or maybe at least have you tried to, do this journey?
Yeah.
Can you share
So
something?
I've done that. Yeah. I mean, my life has been like a experiment. I've never chosen the easiest path. Like I said. So coaching and teaching has always been part of my life. So there was also a time when I was working with Rajiv Talreja, who used to run a company, or Quantum Leap, right? So we used to train college students and stuff. So coaching was always something that I was interested in. I used to do a lot of talks, going to colleges and explaining people about the way to find answers to their questions, and I love that, right? And recently, I believe the TEDx event happened, where for some reason I loved sharing my life story, and that became like a great platform for me to kind of talk about my journey. I think I have done this. What path I'm choosing is the value that we are talking about. I want to move more into one-on-ones. I want to move into the path where I'm able to work with a cohort to kind of guide them with the decisions they make. Because a lot of people, are a little bit hesitant, or sometimes confused. So they all need someone to mentor and guide. I believe goal and a guru are very important in one's life. And if you can find that, you're good. So I would say that's something I've already done before. But I want to do it more professionally, but to a smaller audience, because I believe the path I've chosen is you cannot cater to thousands of people or millions of people, maybe, but you can do it with the minds who are actually accessible to, let's say, thousands of people they're giving jobs to. So I work with CEOs, founders, try and work with them, because if they are in the right mind frame and they're able to kind of make better decisions, I think eventually it all works to the larger society. So I'm trying to be more focused, more clear of the quality of people I interact with, and see how I can contribute to the society.
Well, man, I mean, I love this conversation, and I am a proper business guy.
Mm-hmm.
Irrespective of the conversation, how do you make it in a business way? Something always runs in my mind. I wouldn't call it bad, but it's fun to think that way. And I see a lot of opportunities, under this umbrella, what you're building. Did you plan this ahead, or did you do you are you focusing on making it like a monetization thing, or are you planning on creating only the value and selective people and selective exposure?
No, if you had asked me this question maybe sometime back, I would have said just create value, be a good person, just do with honesty, And I come from a background where talking about money was called evil. And
Okay.
I have built this subconsciously where whenever the money conversation comes, I used to hesitate talking about it, because that's the upbringing that I have. From a middle class family, we've always said, don't talk about money, business is bad. But I believe, honestly, today, I think India needs to be vocal about talking about money. And like I said, there's always way of making ethical money, and that's the path I've chosen. So I want to make a lot of money, right? But the path to a lot of money is not by doing a lot of things. It's by doing things with focus, doing things with clarity, right? Doing things with dedication. And I think that's the path I'm choosing now. So, yes, in the umbrella of things that we're going to do with Golf and Beyond, we want to make it a massive company with, money is a byproduct, I feel.
True.
But I'll not do it for money alone. I think I would want to do it for the kick of it. Like,
Hmm.
for example, I've been told by a lot of my good friends who play golf. I mean, it's always nice to hear, it's okay to not have money, but having money and then being able to do something by your own choice, I think that choice is where I'm going to work for. Because when you know someone has it, right? They would be able to make a choice immediately whether to give or not, to do some impact in the society. I want to be in that position. So for me, more than the money, it's the position where I can contribute to the world basis my choice. And so that's the reason I want to make a lot of money. So it's a journey that we're now like, it's always experiments, right? Maybe the first 500 days of Golf and Beyond were very challenging, very disappointing. Kapil Dev came on the show. We've got the Charu Sharma. We assumed like we'll get 100,000 subscribers like this and we'll grow phenomenally, and all assumptions. But then I realized that the harsh truth is, uh, doesn't matter. The world has its own algorithm. It is going to be difficult, but fundamentally it's the story. We're trying to see how we can connect with the end user. And for me, I like to talk to people who are ambitious. So, coming to the point, if everyone wants to do business, everyone is talking about entrepreneurship, they're all ambitious. But why? Is because that's the kick of life. Is from wherever you are. I mean, today a lot of kids I see, they already have a financial stability, at least from the parent side, but they still want to do something on their own. Now, when I talk to them, I figured out it's not about money. It's about a pride in saying I started something from scratch and I built something meaningful, right? So I think that's the kick that we're trying to find, and I'm just hoping I'm able to create money and also the kick along with it.
I think this conversation is gonna, help a lot of young entrepreneurs to think or to have a vision that money is not what you need to be behind of. You do what you have to do with everything you have or everything you got inside, and it's gonna flow. I mean, time has its own way.
Correct.
It's gonna fall in place
That's the
someday.
right word you said, the flow, right? Money flows. And that's something I've learned now with playing golf, with connecting with people and stuff is, uh, and it's also how you build relation with money, right? So try and treat money as a friend who probably is watching out and will take care of you, right? But don't just live for survival. Try and think of it not as a demon as well. Try and think of it as a friend, like I said, and just focus on creating value. And when people see value, they will eventually say, okay, this guy will give me. And it's always a give and take, I believe, right? It's never one way of just take. You need to give as well. So I believe first give, and eventually things will come back to you. And that's the message for anybody watching who wants to kind of make money. It's important to know that you first give value, where people see that value and they'll eventually be able to give you what you deserve.
True.
And you always deserve a lot. So I believe that.
That's pretty nice, I would say, because most of the conversations what we have in this podcast, people, either they want to bet on something or they would ask someone else to bet on them. But out of this conversation, what I personally have felt was bet on yourself.
True.
If you're betting on yourself, everyone would definitely want to bet on you.
Correct. No, I think that's so powerful line, because bet when you say on yourself, which means you need to really up your game. And I tell people is don't have a lot of high hopes on yourself, right? Always have a subtle thing, but always make sure that your work speaks for yourself. Like for whatever people see, they should talk about your work. And I always believe in this one philosophy now is less said is well said, right? Let the world do the talking about you. But yes, if you become, like I heard this line from Naval Ravikant, productize yourself. And someone kept saying that. And I love that quote because I've realized if I become a better version of myself, and if I'm able to contribute through my knowledge, through my ability to train people and productize in terms of using online or digital platforms, you can scale things. You got to be smart. I think the line goes about, like you said, investing in yourself with being sharper. I think you will be able to kind of be a better person where people will bet on you and you will bet on yourself as well. So, which is a great thing. Yeah.
True. In fact, the concept or the vision of what you want to do or what you want to build, it not just creates value. The byproducts of it is what people are running for in today's life.
Right.
So, any of the audience who are ambitious, who want to do something, specifically founders, I know life is messed up, been there, still there. We are still there.
Absolutely.
It's part of the journey, but we got to take a step, because when you are in your own control is where what you build will be in your control.
And that's a very important point I would like to bring upon is uh, we live in a world where everyone thinks of outcome, right? We often think of the results. We don't think of the process as much. So, like you rightly just said, is life is messed up, right? What you need to do now is what you need to focus on. Most often, people are always, and whenever I talk, I often listen and I kind of figure out that they're always talking about the problems. And problems are mostly about the consequence or the result, something that has already happened, or probably an outcome that they're hoping, hey, this is what I want to reach, I'm too far away from it. When I look at their goals are ridiculously too far. I say break it down into something very simple.
True.
Right now, what is it that you want to do? And can you take that first step? What I would like to tell people is simplify. And if you can't simplify, ask a friend or you answer someone else. Believe me, everyone has the answers within themselves. They just want to don't ask the right questions, or they don't want to kind of believe
Either emotions or some barriers come in between which stop
True.
Their way of thinking.
Yeah. And that is where you need someone else. And that's the reason a good friend or a mentor, you need to have these people who will make sure that you're not getting distracted, you're staying on the course and focusing more on what needs to be done. And once you're able to do what needs to be done, the results will eventually happen. So that's the point I would like to bring upon. Yeah.
That's really insightful, I would say, as a conversation. In fact, I got my buddy. I'm gonna start golf again, so because I have to, reframe myself in a way that, or position myself in a startup words. So
Absolutely. I think every founder I've seen, see, like I said, once you become successful, let's assume you have the time, you have the money, you're built a great company. What after that?
True.
Then you'll be like, it's about being a part of a community, right? And I've always seen most cricketers retire and then come and play golf. I asked why. It is because the sport is designed in such a way that it gives you space, it gives you a qualitative community, and it's also a difficult sport. Let me tell you that it might look you're just hitting a stationary ball, but it's a very tough sport. But that's what tests your mind. And that's the kick that we get about trying to hit that shot as far as possible, straight as possible, and in least number of shots as possible. So there's a lot of learning that you will learn from the game. And I believe every entrepreneur, every individual should try this sport once in their lifetime. And if you truly have that skill, pick it up.
great. So we have the take for the video, what we are making. It's not just a video, it's more like something which impacts the way you think. So any further things, anyone to reach out, the person, just Google us, you'll always find us. So great then. Thanks a lot for wonderful conversation, I would say. More than the conversation, the vision. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Thank you.